This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
Right now, a St. Louis man waits in prison while his overturned conviction is in limbo. Christopher Dunn was ready to be a free man after 34 years, but now he's behind bars a little bit longer. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. A judge said Dunn was supposed to be released 24 hours ago, but the Missouri Supreme Court stands in the way at the request of the Attorney General. Our Justina Cornell joins us in studio with more details on this legal battle. Justina.
Well, Christopher Dunn's wife and family were waiting outside the prison for his release when they learned the Missouri Supreme Court issued a stay. Tonight, we hear from two criminal justice experts explaining why this has been such a roller coaster of a case.
He's 50 feet from the door in his suit, and he can't come out. It was devastating.
In all her years of teaching criminal justice, St. Louis University professor Kenya Brumfield-Young has never seen such a fight to appeal an overturned conviction.
As egregious as wrongful conviction is, they do happen.
She's dedicated time in the Christopher Dunn case. In 1990, he was convicted of murder of a 15-year-old in North St. Louis City. And this week, a judge said Dunn could be set free after reviewing his case and claiming innocence. However, the Attorney General appealed.
And the statute doesn't have an avenue for the Attorney General to appeal. He appeals anyway.
An emergency meeting was held Wednesday and Dunn was ordered to be released again. But the Missouri Supreme Court stalled it this time because the AG asked for more time. After a wave of changes, Brumfield-Young spoke to Dunn Thursday morning.
He's still processing it emotionally. He's still very optimistic, but it was a roller coaster for him too.
Retired Missouri Supreme Court Judge Michael Wolf believes the court will respond quickly after the briefs are submitted by Monday.
When it comes to the Supreme Court, the question is going to be, well, what business does the Attorney General have in this case?
The question comes, why is there such a push for the AG to stall? Wolf believes they may want to defend the integrity of the original judgment.
But not all judgments are correct.
Brumfield-Young agrees.
I think it's important to them to feel like they've upheld the rule of law at the original trial and conviction.
However, in her eyes, true justice looks a bit different.
I think in situations like this, I don't think it lends to actual justice prevailing, because justice is not innocent people sitting in prison while they've been found not guilty.
And after reaching out to the AG's office asking why they want to stall this case or any others, we received this response within the last hour saying, quote, throughout the appeals process, multiple courts have affirmed Christopher Dunn's murder conviction. We will always fight for the rule of law and to obtain justice for victims.
We have an update now on a massive search of some property in Bollinger County. The Missouri Highway Patrol confirmed the investigation is related to the 1989 disappearance of Gina Dawn Brooks. 13-year-old disappeared while riding her bike in nearby Fredericktown nearly 35 years ago. Investigators did not find any human remains during this week's search. They did collect other possible evidence, and they're sending it to the Highway Patrol Crime Lab.
Tonight, 25 plaintiffs are accusing the Archdiocese of St. Louis of hiding sexual abuse for decades. And now they're demanding a jury trial. 5 on your side, Tracy Henson read through that lawsuit and attended a demonstration this afternoon held by the victims. Tracy.
Now, Ann, I asked the Archdiocese for a response to the allegations at 10 a.m. and again around 2, but I have yet to receive a response. This afternoon, victims of abuse within the church gathered at the footsteps of the Cathedral Basilica to share their stories. You will hear brief descriptions of sexual abuse.
Gave her candy and explained that God wanted him to do these things to her.
Crowded under the shelter of umbrellas, Peggy Schwartz read a few quotes from the lawsuit filed Wednesday.
Threatened him to keep quiet about the abuse.
The testimony is from some of the 25 plaintiffs identified by their initials, calling for a jury trial in the City of St. Louis Circuit Court. The lawsuit naming Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky as a defendant, accusing him and the Archdiocese of a, quote, shameless cover-up that spanned decades and allowed various clergy and other employees to access and sexually abuse numerous children.
Missouri is definitely among the worst states in terms of child protection. Plenty of archaic, predator-friendly, arbitrary laws like the statute of limitations, plenty of needless deadlines that end up advantaging the abusers and not the abused.
David Cloesy with the Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests says that's one of the reasons religious abuse cases are commonly civil and not criminal.
We've long pushed for secular legal reforms.
He says Catholic lobbyists have pushed back. Pushback Susan Hurt experienced firsthand when she brought her case before the Archdiocese in 2021.
She gave a heads up to the priest who abused me so that when the police did talk to the priest, he was surrounded by archdiocesan lawyers. It was all prearranged so that he was protected. And he was just covered. He was covered by the Archdiocese.
She says the priest who abused her was transferred within the diocese to another parish with a school, which is a common thread throughout the 24-page lawsuit.
Two of the top contenders running for governor in the GOP primary race squared off on a debate stage right here last night in our studios. And in less than an hour, that debate will be broadcast right here on 5 on Your Side. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, was one of the moderators. He's here now with a preview. Mark?
Yeah, Mike, we wanted to bring you all this debate live last night. That was the plan until President Biden delivered his address to the nation. So we had to tape the debate, and we'll air it in its entirety with no edits at the top of the hour. And this is a massive primary race that will likely decide the direction of the Missouri Republican Party for the next 4 years, at least. Senator Bill Eigel is running as far right as he can, riling up the grassroots and trying to mount something of an insurgent campaign to knock off the establishment. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft competing for many of those same voters, but he's doing so with the advantage of a much higher name ID. A lot of voters remember his dad, the former governor, U.S. Senator, and Attorney General. But both men took aim at the more moderate Mike Kehoe, who skipped out on the only televised debate in this race.
But Mike Kehoe, who's not only doing nothing as the lieutenant governor of the state, is afraid to come onto this stage. He's not even here tonight to answer a few questions about his liberal voting record. And I'm very frustrated that Mike Kehoe's not here tonight. He doesn't have the courage to stand in front of the cameras here and answer a few tough questions.
I mean, maybe the reason he's not here is because he raised the gas tax so high that he couldn't afford to gas up this Chinese bus that he's touring Missouri in right now and get to our debate.
One of the more colorful lines of attack of the night. Just a quick fact check. We can verify Mr. Kehoe's campaign is driving a bus loaned to him by the one lobbyist who represents a Chinese company that bought up a bunch of Missouri farmland. That has become a huge topic in this race, along with immigration, abortion, guns, DEI, education, a whole lot of hot political topics up for debate tonight at 7.
Coming up, a mysterious death in South St. Louis. Who is now taking over the investigation?
Two local high school football teams won't be playing at home anytime soon. The reason, rain is to blame.
And most of us aren't seeing rain right now, but our weather impact Doppler radar still indicates a couple of isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. We're tracking in just a few minutes.